Dr. Student, this is the drawing of botanization. Discussion. Which topic is going to discuss about? This is a plant kingdom. The 11th, the plant kingdom is supposed to come from the chapter 2. Traditionally, the plant kingdom can be divided into two categories. Traditionally, the plant kingdom can be divided into two categories. These namely, one is plants, the another one is animals. Which basis is classified, or which basis it is categorized by animals and by plants? Based on nutrition. Based on nutrition, then based on presence and absence of cell wall. Our initial lecture, which way to be classified as a plants and animals apart from the nutrition and the presence or absence of cell wall. The plant, it must be classified. For the classification, what are the things it must be comes under in the plant groups? Namely, the one is called algae. The second one is called fungi. The third one is called bacteria. The fourth one is called bryophytes. The fifth one is namely called as pteridophytes. The sixth one is namely called as gymnosperm. The seventh one is commonly called as angiosperm. So, what are the things? It must be improved the plant categories called as algae, fungi, bacteria, bryophytes, rhodophytes, gymnosperm, and angiosperm. But now recently, the plant classification is altered. This comes under bacteria and fungi. From the classification is segregated and kept into another plant kingdom. We have to understand, from the kingdom, fungi and bacteria is segregated and kept into another one plant kingdom. Which basis the fungi and the bacteria, it is segregated from the plant kingdom based on molecular characteristic features. That is specialized one is underlined. Molecular characteristic feature. So based on the molecular characteristic feature from that plant kingdom, the fungi and the bacteria, it is associated or it is segregated and kept into another one plant kingdom. So for here, plant, one of the important components for our living organisms. That's why to be say, without a plant, no one organism is never possible to survive. Because the plant gives various components for survival of various species. You know, botany, one of the important branch of biological things, or one of the important branch of biology. But botany is the oldest science. From that science, what's learned of humanity is namely called as the old man exploited and identified the plants. I'm telling why the early man or old man exploited and identified the plants for the need of or for the essentiality of food. 7-1 clothes. Third one, medicine. Fourth one, shelter. So these are things it is essential need for all living organisms. Which one? Food is very essential. Clothing is so essential. Medicine is essential. Shelter is essential. Those are is a highly needed to the humanity. That's why the early man exploited and identified the plants for the purpose of food, clothes, medicine, and shelter. In addition, plants is namely called as it is a unique living entity. Please underline. It is a unique living entities. It is plants are commonly called what that? It is a unique living entities. It is all smaller than nature, but the role is amazing. What are the amazing roles carry out for the plants? So each and every kind of plants, the leaves are green in color. Because of the presence of chlorophyll pigments. In the presence of chlorophyll pigments, the plants are usually green in color. What are the unique living entities of the plant that is commonly called as? These green plants, for example, which is that the vital role of plants called role is called that leaf. This is leaf is green in color. What are the potentialities of leaf is commonly called as trap atmospheric solar energy. Trap atmospheric solar energy. That solar energy is converted into chemical energy. What atmospheric solar energy absorbed the green lights, that sun energy became converted into chemical energy. So chemical energy is nothing but in the form of food. Which process to be involving for absorbing solar energy converted to chemical energy? That energy which is used to form the form of food. The process is namely called as what? Photosynthesis. So please online. This is a 2-mark question or 3-mark question. These are very essential key points. What is the photosynthesis? So all green plants trap solar energy. The solar energy is converted to chemical energy. That chemical energy is nothing but in the form of food by the process commonly called as photosynthesis. So during photosynthesis, some amount of gas is released. That gas is namely called as CO2. This is a chemical name. What is the name is commonly called as carbon dioxide. So at the time of photosynthesis, a small amount of gas is released that is commonly called as carbon dioxide. Commonly, carbon dioxide is commonly called as it is a greenhouse gas. It is a greenhouse gas. It is releasing very little amount, but it causes increasing temperature. What I am telling? It is releasing small amount, but it is cause increasing temperature in the atmosphere. Resulting, what happened there? You know, you are already studying about global warming. So what do you mean in global warming? Increasing temperature in the environment or atmosphere, that is commonly called as global warming. So through the photosynthesis, the green plants prepare the food. Apart from some small amount of gas is released, that is carbon dioxide, also called greenhouse gas. There is small impact in the environment, is namely called as increasing temperature, also called global warming. In addition, the plants are commonly called as diverse in the nature. What are diverse? Because all the plant is not recording what is equality. Because some of the plants are commonly called as very small. Some of the plant is commonly called as zooxantic like this. That to be safe. So all plant is not as according or uniform. It may be differ based on that species. So the microscopic algae, which are smaller in size, but the angiosperm plants are commonly called as Xi-Botany-like trees. So here, therefore, the mysteries and wandering of the plant kingdom in the world. All the plants are not in uniform size and shape. So size and shape is not uniform in all species. It may be differ species to species. So the microscopic organism decides to be so small. But the gigantic like angiosperm plants is plants are commonly called as like shape also it's not uniform. It is differ from species to species. That's what we say. Is a great wonder and the mysteries of the plant kingdom is available. Size and shape is also commonly called as possess different habit and the habitats. So habit and habitat also it's not similar in all species. That's also different from species to species. The one more that reproduction. The way of reproduction is not uniform in all species. So you know already classified the reproduction. The reproduction can be classified as three types. You know, vegetative, asexual, and sexual. So some other species reproduce by means of vegetative. Some species are reproduced asexual. Some species are produced regarding what sexual. You know, already studied those three types. But all the plants is monopopsil. But it can be processed a great range of diversity to form and structure. Now I'm going to the next one is commonly called as what are the kinds of species occur in the world as well as so that include what are the number of plant specimens it must be occur in the world as well as India. Algae. How much is number is occurring? 40,000 species are there. Next one, bryophytes. It include in the world how much number is commonly called as 16,236 species are there in the world. But India it must be include 2,748 species are there. Next one, bryophytes. That number in the world it may include around 12,000 species are there. But in India it includes 1,288 species are there. Thousand 289 species are there. The next one to be going to commonly called as apart from the nature, in gymnosperm it include what I'm telling. The gymnosperm include in the world they may include 1,012 species are there. But in India it include only 79 species are there. The next one, angiosperm plants. In around the world, that's why they can be present huge number of plant population into 2,68,600 species are there. But in India, it includes 18,386 species are there. So, this is that characteristic features about plant species. Can I go to the next one? Component is commonly called as classifications of algae. Next one, classification of algae. So the algae classified various ways, namely called as embryophyta. It is classified into bryophytes and tracheophyta. That embryophyta is further classified into pteridophytes and spermatophyta. Spermatophyta include gymnosperm and angiosperm. For outline the plant kingdom classification is commonly called as kingdom plantae. The kingdom plantae is further classified into two subkingdoms. Subkingdom 1, subkingdom 2. The plantae, it is divided into first subkingdom is commonly called as cryptogamy. The second one subkingdom is commonly called as panerogamy. So what is the meaning of cryptogamy? Non-flowering plants. What I'm telling? Non-flowering plants are also known as non-seeded plants because those is not responsible for producing flowering. In addition, those are not responsible for producing seed, the TBC. non-flowering or non-seeded plants. Panera again is nothing but is a flowering plants or also known as seed bearing plants because those responsible for producing flowering as well as seeds also producing the TBC commonly called as seed bearing plants. This non-flowering plants are further classified as three categories, namely one is called algae, second one is called bryophytes, the third one is commonly called as pteridophytes. What they call algae? Algae is commonly called as most of them aquatic. Bryophytes is commonly called as beginning to terrestrial. Pteridophytes are commonly called as terrestrial plants. Those are occur in the form of colonization. These also occur in the form of colonization. So that's occur in a group. It's only in the aquatic. From aquatic to enter in the terrestrial, the whole plants are occur in the terrestrial. What I call Panerogamy. Panerogamy is further classified as two types. What is that called? Seeded plants. Another one is non-seeded plants. That is a classification. Can I go to the next one is commonly called as alterations of generation. What is that? Alterations of generation. The alteration of generation it must come from life cycle patterns of plants. That life cycle pattern in plants. So in the life cycle patterns of plants, the first thing is commonly called as alterations of generation. What is called alteration? There are two categories that may be appear, first one and the second one. They may be alternately, they may be expressive, the characteristic feature that is commonly called as alterations of generation. You know, there are two generations of that, namely gametophyte and the sporophyte. Those two alternately appear in the life cycles of organism that is probably called as alterations of generation. So here, alterations of generation it is generally occur all plants. This is one important keyword based on line. It is occur common in all plants. What are the definitions of alteration of generation? The sporophyte is diploidy. The gametophyte is haploidy. So, gametophytic haploidy, sporophytic diploidy, which is are alternatively occur in the life cycles of organism, that is commonly called as alterations of generation. The alterations of generation, they can be classified into three types. One is haplondic life cycle. Second one, diplondic life cycle. Third one, haplodiplondic life cycle. There are three alteration generations. Haplondic life cycle, diplondic life cycle, haplodiplondic life cycle. Can I go to the first one is namely called as haplondic life cycle. For here, gametophyte is dominant. Gametophyte is dominant, independent, and photosynthetic. What I'm telling? Gametophyte is dominant, independent, and photosynthetic. But sporophyte is responsible for producing gametes. What's that? Gametophyte is dominant, independent, and photosynthetic. Sporophyte is responsible for producing them for gametophytic gametes. So for here, spores are gametes fused together to form zygote. That zygote is undergo meiotic division that responsible for producing spore. That spores are always maintain haploidic condition, or how to commonly say gametophyte is dominant, independent, and photosynthetic. Sporophyte is commonly called as gametes are fused together, responsible formations of zygote. That zygote is undergo meiotic division. It is responsible for producing spores, so that the sporophyte is always restore the haploidic conditions. What the example is commonly called as valvax and spirogyra. Can I put the second one is commonly called as diplondic life cycle. Correct? Diplondic life cycle. For here, sporophyte is dominant. Is not only dominant, independent, and photosynthetic. But gametophytic is commonly called as, it's made up of single or few layer of cells. Here, gametes are fused together to form zygote. From zygote, sporophyte is developed. What are the examples of diplomatic life cycle is commonly called as fucus, gymnosperm, and angiosperm. Can I go to the third one is namely called as haplo, diplo, haplo, diplomatic cycle, are also called diplohaploidic cycle. Whatever name it gives. What is specialty means? Which is a good examples of haplodiploidic cycle is commonly called as bryophytes and pteridophytes. That example, bryophytes and pteridophytes. It is a good examples of haplodiploidic life cycles. So haplodiploidic life cycle, it is an intermediate of haplodic cycle and a diplomatic cycle. So both the things it must be occur in this single one. Or by the combination it may be occur. Haplodiplomatic cycle also called diplohaplodic cycle. It's a occur in bryophytes and pteridophytes. Both the pairs are commonly called as multicellular in nature. What are building? Both the pairs. What is space? Gametophytic space and sporophytic space. Both are in multicellular nature. But that is all different from dominant. Please note that is specialty. That is different from the dominant. For example, what is the specializations of bryophytes? I will tell you. In bryophytes, gametophyte is dominant. Sporophyte is short-lived. Multicellular sporophyte. It's a partially or totally depend on sporophytes. You know, once I recall to you, in bryophytes, gametophyte is dominant, photosynthetic, and independent. Sporophyte is short-lived multicellular, but it's partially or totally depend on sporophytes. What about the pteridophyte is commonly called as? Sporophyte is dominant. But gametophyte is short-lived multicellular. That's all totally or partially depends on the gametophyte. So that is quite different from bryophytes. So here gametophyte is dominant. Here sporophyte is dominant. Here sporophyte is short-lived multicellular. Here gametophyte is short-lived multicellular. So is it both or totally or partially depend on gametophyte? So now can I draw about schematic representations of three life cycle patterns. First one, haplo or haplodic life cycle. First of all, haplodic life cycle. So zygote undergo meiosis, produce spore. So spore developed into gametophyte. Gametophyte is gametogenesis. Gametogenesis syngamy produces zygote. So this is 2n, this is n. So spores also n is a 2n culture. That is a commonly called as caponic, let's say. Now I am going to commonly called as diplontic, let's say. For diplontic life cycle, which things are first formed is commonly called as sporophytes. Sporophyte produce gametogenesis. Gametogenesis undergo meiosis. By the combination degrees produce zygote. How is zygote is obtained by means of syngamy. Zygote come into various produced regarding what sporophytes. So that's the n. The n is a 2n. So this is a commonly called as diplontic life cycle pattern. Can I go to the third one? Haplodiplontic life cycle. Really? Haplodiplontic life cycle. Here we say sporophytes. Undergo meiosis, produce spore. Spores undergo gametophytes. Gametophyte is responsible for producing zygote. Sorry. Gametophyte is responsible for producing syngamy. Syngamy responsible for produce zygote. Zygote enters sporophytes. So for here, so 2n, n. So this is a commonly called as haplodiplontic life cycle. There are 3 types of life cycle patterns occur in this living organism. I am going to commonly called as algae. algae, you know that at a time of rainy, they are joyfulness as well as the rain that gives lives to number of organisms. Have you identified in the nature in them after the rainy season? So after the rainy, the few days nature, did you see in them the whole terrestrial land became is green color because so many kinds of plant responsible grow with the help of rain. Could you identify why it is slippery during rainy season in the terrace, as well as some of the green patches are occur in the wall of room. In addition, you know that why your water tank is often you have to be cleaning, because those places usually occur algae. So algae, it is not a gigantic like tree. It is small plants with rootless. So it is small plant, rootless, leafless, and stemless. So I tell you, a small plant, rootless, leafless, and stemless in nature. So in the world, 2/3 of earth is occupied ocean, or commonly called as much amount of or huge amount of water is occupied. So for here, most of the algae is found in ocean. Some of the algae they may be occur in fresh water. You know that. So in the world, 2/3 of place in the earth is occupied with water. In particular, to be say salt water. In addition, which kind of plants is much extremely present in the aquatic areas of ocean is called is algae. So half of the primary productivity of organism organism, which is depends on algae alone. So that algae is commonly called as, the main purpose is commonly called as photosynthesis. So with the help of photosynthetic algae, that gives number of living organisms in this aquatic region, predominantly in the ocean. This is not only providing food, apart from some other organism for existence of this water in the presence of algae. In addition, the algae, it's generally autotrophic mode of nutrition. The algae is generally autotrophic mode of nutrition. It's self-preparing food. There is no dependent to any others. But they are occurring aquatic as well as terrestrial. In aquatic is predominantly occurring marine and freshwater. That is classified. Which organism is predominantly occur in the marine? That is commonly called as Gracilaria and Sargassum. Which one the fresh water algae is namely called as Eudemonium. And the Eulothrix. Which one of the algae it will be found in the terrestrial that we call in soil? These are occur in the water. These are occur in the soil. Which is the organism is occur in the soil is commonly called as Fritschella. And Vaucheria. So Fritschella and Vaucheria, those are commonly called as terrestrial algae. In addition to nature, some of the algae, apart from the nature, they will be occur to some other organism. For example, chlorella. What is that? Chlorella. These predominantly say is a green algae. These algae where is usually found is commonly called as it is holozoic nature. What they call holozoic means these kinds of algae it is present to some other organism it to be internal. Where it is commonly called as hydra and sponges. Inner hydra and sponges. These kinds of algae they may be grown that we say commonly called as holozoic in nature. In addition to nature, that's a commonly called as Chilidospora. Chilidospora crispata. Chilidospora crispata. That is are usually found on surface of shells in mollusks. So in mollusks species, especially snail, on the surface, these kinds of algae to be remembered, Chilidospora crispata. Yes. So the algae, these are commonly availability. Some of the algae, it's to be growing extreme and adverse environment is also to possible. There's a high salinity, high temperature. So some of the plants are not easily grow, but those places also are going to grow. That to be said, the algae to grow some extreme environments is some understood to be here. Some of the algae is found in salty bed. Some of the algae is found on salty region. If the algae present the salty region is commonly called as halophytic algae. What algae? Halophytic algae. Yes, some algae is found in snow region. If the algae is found on the snow region, is commonly called as cryptoalgae or cryptophytic algae. With a good example is commonly called as Chlamydomonas nivalis. What name? Chlamydomonas nivalis. Because of the presence of this algae in the snow region, that give us red in color. So it will appear the entire snow mountains it's appear red in color. Yes, that. Some of the algae is found in surface of aquatic plants. Actually, some of the algae is found in surface of aquatic plants commonly called as epiphytic orchid. What is a good example commonly called as coleochaete? So the last of I will tell about you. The study of algae is commonly called as mycorrhizae, also called algalage. What is that? Study of algae is commonly called as mycorrhizae or algalage. There are a number of eminent algalages are present in all over the world. Some I understood to be here, namely called as F.E. Fritsch. Second one, F.E. Round. Third one, R.E.V. The fourth one, M.O.P. What is M.O.P.? M.O.P. Parthasarathi. Those are some eminent algalages. So students, these are things, it's my end of session. Remaining things, I think classifications are already. Let us continue to the coming class. Thank you, madam. Students, the next session is going to continue. The session is going to be started. Thank you.